All right, episode 88. Are these comics going to make good film and television shows? We got Superman, we got Ghost Rider, and we got the One Hand Mystery. Let's check them out right now. Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a line producer. And I'm getting back on set in May. I got to fly back to LA for a film. Excited to finally get back into the swing of things. And then I had some good meetings yesterday. I went to an actors summit yesterday. I'm not an actor, but I got to meet some producers over there. Exciting for that. Got to meet some of the guys that did the CW shows. It was Jeffrey Hunt. He did Gotham Knights, although I wouldn't toot that one, but he did do Originals and Legacies, which were good shows. He exec produced them. Really, really nice guy. So I'm going to send my resume over to him as well, although he was in the same boat as everybody else. There really isn't a whole lot going on, and as you know, the CW just kind of died off, so he lost as much of those shows. But yeah, I met a lot of good people, a lot of producers, and hoping to work with some of them in a very short-term situation here. But anyway, in the meantime, let's talk about some comics. All right, so remember to give me a like and subscribe if you can. And then if you're looking for anything that I've written, I am on Amazon with my books and my graphic novels. And my most recent one is in late pledge right now. We were successfully crowdfunded on Kickstarter. It's called Lords of LA. It's a vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood. And the description below has the link there. We'll talk about that at the end. But in the meantime, let's jump into DC. I got DC, we got a Marvel, and we got an Image book. All right, so this is the end of this run with Joshua Williamson. Josh Williamson's doing a great job on the Energon books. This Superman run here as this arc, I should say, because he's still on his run, but the arc is ending. It was okay. It started out good, and it just kind of went downhill as far as I'm concerned. So we had Luthor in jail. He gives him LexCorp to run. He calls it Supercorp instead. And then we had this Lex Luthor Revenge Squad pop up. Yeah. And so we had 3-4 members of that, and they looked kind of weird. They weren't even cool looking. And we had this guy that had chains that he got let out. Superman let him out because he didn't know what was there, and which was kind of inhumane anyway for having him in solitary confinement forever. But yeah, then he had this Dr. Farm and Dr. Graft character that just looked like funky people. I don't know. And then they just let out kryptonite all over in a gas form all over Metropolis. Nothing we haven't seen before, man. So, on the artwork, I'm not kicking it with the artwork here. It's kind of cartoony. So there's Dr. Graft, I think it is. And you can see the people running there. And he's got no... Why does he have a shirt on? I have not a clue. He has long gloves and no shirt. Just, it looks strange, man. So somehow, and I do not know, if you know how Lex Luthor got out of prison, you let me know. But I do not know how he got it. I think maybe they took him out. I don't know. I don't know. But he's out of prison, and he's like, I'm gonna go save the day, because he and Superman have this conversation, and I guess Lena Luthor has Brainiac. I don't know if she was part Brainiac. I guess I don't know, but he and Lex have this discussion, and Lex says, I'm gonna go out and deal with the kryptonite, because even if there's one sliver of a crack in your suit, you're going to die from all the kryptonite. So he said, he says, the same thing could happen to you. He said, but I'm not Kryptonian, so I'll have a little bit more time than you. And Superman doesn't fight him on it. I'm actually pretty surprised. Instead, Superman puts on a Supercorp jacket and calls all of the scientists up to get a pep talk to them, and tells them that we have a limited amount of time. Let's figure out how to dispel all of this kryptonite gas that's flowing through the city. Through the city. Through the silly city. And, but yeah, so that's the basic plot of this issue. And then we have to have filler. I don't know. So while Lex is running around, he's telling Superman in his earpiece about how he met graft and farm, and he was literally in Smallville because I guess they're going after. I don't know. Was he in Smallville originally, or was that just the Smallville TV show? Either way, he and Clark were apparently friends, and Clark isn't feeling well because he's introduced to kryptonite there for the first time. But anyway, so I don't know. I guess he found a meteor chunk, but he didn't. Superman didn't exist yet, so he didn't know it was going to do anything with Superman. But I guess he's always been into green and purple, I guess. I don't know. But this is where he meets Dr. Farmer and Dr. Graff for the first time. They decide to team up to talk about this meteorite thing that they found. And then we end up that, true to form, Lex got what he wanted out of them and then kicked them to the curb and took all their research. And then we have Mommy Luthor, who is physically fighting her son. So she's part of the bad news team here. And meanwhile, Superman is working with Mercy and Lena and the rest of the team trying to figure out how to dispel the stuff. But I don't know about Mommy physically fighting Luthor. I don't think that works, man. So anyway, we have Parasite here, and they realize that Parasite's actually the link to actually get this done. And he absorbs all of the kryptonite stuff, and then they use that kind of technology or create the technology from that transference to figure out how to dispel it from the city. So they, I guess they tell Lex to do a certain thing, and he does, and, into the middle of the fight, and they said, leave your mom alone for 2 seconds and do this, rather than going after your mom, because the rest of everybody is in Metropolis is more important than your vengeance against your mother. So he's like, all right, I'll do it. But Lena has a trick up her sleeve, which I don't think this would work. But she says to the guy, turn off my grandmother's suit. And he says, yeah, but if I do that, it's going to turn off Lex's also. She's like, do it. Now, you can't tell me that Lex wouldn't have a redundancy system where you couldn't touch one button and turn off his suit. I don't think that works, man. I wasn't buying it. But anyway, they kind of fall to supposed death, but then Superman grabs them at the end, and I guess they all go to prison after that. I don't know if Mom goes to prison. I assume that she does. But anyway, it looks like they're all in prison. They take the chains off the chain. He's no longer called the Chain now because he has some chains. I don't know what they're going to call him now. And Superman's like, is there anything else that you're hiding from me that you want me to know? Is there anything? Anything at all? And Lex is like, no. But anything, everybody gets tied up in a nice little bow at the end of this, which I'm not really happy about there either. But I guess the headline is that Lex Luthor saved Metropolis, and suddenly Lobo shows up somewhere. He's coming out of the ground. I missed all that. And then we have a setup for the next run, which is the House of Brainiac, and that's the end of that. So yeah, I don't know. It tied up way too neatly. There's some holes here. It's not very climactic. I don't know. I was kind of disappointed with it. It was okay. So, do I think this would make a good film or No. No, this story's not very good, man. There's plenty of other better Superman things. Maybe with Brainiac coming, I don't know. We've got Brainiac in the cartoons, but never on, we had some, I think it was in television also. I think he was actually in Smallville. But we never seen him on the big screen. We never seen Brainiac on the big screen. All right, so let's jump into Ghost Rider. This was a number 1 because Johnny Blaze is losing. I don't know where Dan Ketch is at this point. But Johnny Blaze is losing the Zaratos Spirit of Vengeance. And it's going into somebody new. And I kind of wanted to read it. I haven't read Ghost Rider in forever. And now I know why. So we get this big, long... So it's told from the demon's point of view about him having to leave Johnny Blaze. So we have Johnny Blaze kind of hanging out in front of this thing, and I guess he's about to fight. He's fight a demon or something to that effect. He's going after something, but it's all a trap. But his motorcycle changes. Why is he in Dan Ketch's bike? That is not Johnny Blaze's bike. That is Dan Ketch's bike. I don't understand why he's on Dan Ketch's bike. It's something I missed there anyway. So anyway, he enters this thing, and there's this big alien-looking spider on the ceiling. Right when he's about to fight it, the Spirit of Vengeance literally leaves his body and kind of sets him up to die. Very strange. So this is the last time we see Johnny Blaze is in front of the spider thing. So I don't know if he lived or not. We don't know. But yeah, it's written by Benjamin Percy. The artwork is really good. And then we have the rest of the issue is the Spirit of Vengeance jumping from one person to another, to another, to another, where it never progresses the story. Anywhere in here, you could have stopped that and jumped into the new person and started the new storyline halfway through. But instead, he decides that he's going to wait until the last panel, splash page, to give you the person that he jumped into for good at this point, his new host. I don't know why that decision was made, but it didn't work. And that's why everybody is jumping on the shit of this. There's very little amount of people that are liking this, and I'm with them 100%. So it jumps, as you can see, it's just jump, 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 jump into all these, just obscure people for no reason. It jumps to a shark. It's weird. So you have this very downtrodden woman who's working several jobs to try to keep her family afloat. And I guess her mother or her mother-in-law decides that she's going to take the kids. And this is the exact time that the Zaratos jumps in here. She actually leaves drugs there and goes to Child Services, who's waiting outside, and says, come take the kids. I saw drugs in there, blah, blah. So she's setting everything up. And then the kid starts crying, and the doll head comes off the doll, so she starts crying. So the mother, who's just exhausted as it is, just kind of goes crazy. And the Spirit of Vengeance pops into her at the exact time. The little girl stopped crying when she saw her mom go on fire. Whatever, man. That'll make you stop crying. But then they start crying again, and this is when the mother comes in with the Child Services thing. And she's like, I'm out of here, man. I'm out of here. I don't know what's going on with your family, but woo, you're in more trouble than I want to be involved in. But anyway, so the Spirit of Vengeance literally walks up to her, and she's pleading and stuff like that. And the woman says, the mother or the mother-in-law says, come with us. And instead, she locks the door. She locks the door so she can't get out. And the Spirit of Vengeance, there was nothing left of her in the least. And meanwhile, I think, she was holding the sister or brother or whatever. And that's where it should have ended. Because I like that little story, but it just keeps going and going and going. He doesn't even know where to go with this thing anymore. I mean, we're going up to Asgard at this point. There's a headless thing in Asgard for absolutely no reason. And it grows the head back, and Thor has to come down. Now we've got Thor in this. What is going on? He went completely off the rails. Then we jump into another character over here for no reason. At this point, I was just like, get to the point, man. Get to the point. He's still jumping and jumping and jumping, and I'm like, can we stop this? Can we stop this jumping thing? Then we go up into space, and we got the Brood. What is he doing? Benjamin Percy, man, get off the drugs, bro. Get to the point. And then we have this scene with the Brood, where one of them turns on their own to save the human. Why? What does this have to do with Ghost Rider? Then we got another alien. We have Craven. I don't even know what's going on anymore. I don't even know what's going on there. Not a clue. But anyway, so it ends up jumping into this old villain called the Hood, who, if I remember correctly, had a family and stuff like that. I think he was like, a closet villain. I don't know. Anyway, will this make a good film or television show? No. This is garbaggio. Garbage. All right, let's jump into The One Hand. This is by Ram V. Yeah, he only has a one initial last name. What happened to the rest of it? I don't know. But anyway, this is about a detective in the future. It's kind of like Blade Runner-ish, where he was going after this killer. He arrested the killer several times. I think there's like 2 or 3 times he captured the guy, which makes no sense. But anyway, he was about to retire, and then another copycat killer, or the real killer, we don't know which, popped up. But anyway, when he makes, sculptures out of the people, kind of like he arranges the body, and then he leaves this handprint on the wall along with all these different symbols that are all square-based. And so he comes out of retirement to solve this last case, and he notices that the handprint has a 6th finger on it, leading us, instead of it being like a murder mystery where we have red herrings and we're trying to, as an audience and a reader, to figure out who the killer is. No, he decides that he's going to create a whole nother book written by a whole nother person that was going to tell us the story from the killer's point of view. Why? It's called the sixth finger. That's what it's called. And so we already know who the killer is. So it ruins both books simultaneously. I don't even know why I'm still collecting this. I kind of want to see how it converges. I think that's the reason. But normally I would just kill this stuff. If I wasn't reviewing, I'd probably kill it. But I kind of want to, tell you guys how it converges. But why would you write a murder mystery where it's not a mystery? It makes no sense. Do you think you think your story is that compelling that we're just going to sit on this knowing who the killer is? There's nothing to it. I'm just spinning wheels. It's like this. It is. It's like spinning wheels above the road where you're going nowhere. It's just very, very strange. So we start out with this guy who's combusting. And he's like, I guess it's one of his informants. And he's like, oh, did you pick up this case? He's like, nah, I just came to check on you. Because he was a witness to this combustion. So they're talking, and he talks about, the fact that the killer has come back out, and the word down the street, that maybe he got the wrong guy, blah, blah, blah. And that's we get, the artwork's decent. I like the building of the world, although that cop car there does not look futuristic. So if you're going for Blade Runner, you missed the mark there, bro. So there's like the symbols that are like written on the walls when he commits a murder. And then you can see that there's the 6th finger circled in that bottom panel there. And that's the guy he's teamed up with, which is the guy in the hat there. And he gets subpoenaed about the fact that, he may have gotten the wrong guy. So I don't know how they prove that otherwise, but yeah. So they're going to basically be reviewing the case. So yeah, and look at, I don't know if that's a picture that they then turn into a thing, but the city is really nice in the background there. But anyway, they go and tell the wife of the guy that got killed, not the combustion guy, but the guy who got killed by the murderer. They go tell them, they go reveal that the guy that are dead, and they go to question her. And he goes and looks around the house. We get a very noir feel here with the slats across the face and stuff like that. So he goes into one of the rooms, and he's looking around at stuff. And he sees, this is very, I like this a lot. So he sees like this combination pattern of these pictures on the wall, and he recalls that there's one of those patterns that was on the wall during the murder. I thought that was pretty, yeah, I got to hand it to Ramsey on that one. I like that a lot. And as they walk out, the guy says, "So did you love him?" And she's like, "What?" And even his partner's like, "Why are you asking that question?" I thought it was a good detective question. But anyway, she ends up slamming the door on him. So I guess she didn't. So she loves the insurance money. But anyway, so they leave. But then he goes and starts searching for his robotic girlfriend. So he's got a robotic consort, basically a robotic hooker. And she's been decommissioned. She kind of went a little bonkers in the last one. A bunch of them did. But anyway, I guess they sent her body to the basement. And he's looking for her. And she's, I guess he, because he's a cop, he was able to get in and talk to the guy. And then he's like, "Oh, he's not here." And he's like, "Well, all these flyers are on the floor here." He's like, "Yeah, well, that's a person that runs a gallery, an artist, and he or she, I can't know if it was a he or she, takes the body parts from the robots and then builds art out of them." So he decides to go visit the art gallery, and I guess they're having a showing at the time. So he goes to this showing, which is very convenient that they ended up going that day where they have a showing that evening. Very convenient. But I guess everybody's having a really good time. That lady looks like she's a bit insane. But he's thinking back to the girl robot, which is, again, kind of creepy. I don't know, man. So, that guy looks like Disney. I don't know. So we got all this imagery going on. But then he goes to the back and he sees that one of the sculptures is the one-hand killer, and it's got his face on it and all this rest of the stuff. So everybody starts making fun of him and stuff like that. You got the wrong guy, and the guy's like, "Step back." But then he ends up in the crowd, sees somebody that has the sixth finger. He doesn't see the guy's face, so he runs after him, but is pretty much stopped. And yeah, that's pretty much the end. So who the hell knows? And then he gets a call that there's another murder. That's it. So this book, as far as I'm concerned, this book is ruined. Both books are completely ruined. In fact, my shop isn't even, I got to order it specially because nobody's ordering it. So we'll make a good film or television show. Sorry, Image, you're not selling this one. It's just not going to happen. Sorry. If they do, I'm going to be really shocked. Really shocked. And again, they would have to change it because it would have to be a murder mystery. You'd have to disregard that you know who it is. So, all right. So to recap, that would be a no. Ghost Rider, Final Vengeance. I doubt it's Final Vengeance, but no. And Superman with the ending of the Lex Luthor Revenge Squad. That would be a no. So I got 3 up and 3 no's. Well, last week I had Moon Knight and Duke, and a few days ago I had in Cobra Commander, they were all yeses, so I was due for a bunch of no's. Anyway, I ended up getting the Ultimate Spider-Man one, so I'm going to review that. I just got it today, even though it doesn't come out till Wednesday, so I'm going to try to review that before it comes out as well. All right, so that's it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end. And remember to give me a like and subscribe. Give me that thumbs up. Give me that middle finger. Whatever it is you want to give me. And if you haven't subscribed, why the hell not? It's free. Click that little bell and help me grow the channel out. And check out some of my other videos as well. Remember that Lords of L.A., my vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood, is in the description below, has the link to fund my comics. Again, it's already been financed. We just have a few pages left, so if you want to jump on that, you can get on issue 1 and issue 2. I am autographing them. It is a mature book, so it does have blood, sex, and fangs in it, and a special appearance by Marilyn Monroe, since this takes place in the 50s. We had Tommy Guns, we got Monster and on Monster Action, and all that other stuff. So, good stuff. Also, Mark Spears and I are working on our card game. It is a classic monster, so you're going to be able to play as a classic monster while you're trying to defeat other classic monsters in a deck builder area control game. That means you're building your deck as you go. And it's fun stuff. We've been play testing it, and we also have a Dark Wizard of Oz expansion, so you can also play as Dorothy or the Wicked Witch and stuff to that effect. Anyway, I'll definitely let you guys know when we're going to be releasing that, probably sometime in May. All right, thanks again, guys, for watching, and I will see you guys on the next episode.